Welcome back, everyone, to Little Roadie Wargaming for another game of sharp practice between the French and Prussian armies. So today's game is a encounter. The Prussians will be starting on this side. The French will be starting there. We've already got our deployment points out, so the main Prussian deployment point will be here on this flag. The howitzer is the secondary. So for the French, right behind this yellow house here, they have their primary deployment points. And then over here on the corner of the road, we've got a French exploring officer. So you already got some of the force support here. This is a 2-point secondary, and we get the 3-point exploring officer. So as usual, all of the buildings are hardcover. The stone walls are hardcover, and everything else, like these the fences here, the wheat fields, the bushes, are all light cover. So for a meeting objective, meeting engagement's objective, it's very simple. Destroy your opponent's force morale while keeping yours at 3 or higher. So let's take a look at today's forces. So starting with the French, this is 75 points plus force support. We have a force morale of 10. Leader 1 is a level 3, and he's in charge of these 4 groups of French line infantry. Call them 1815, since we're fighting a newer Prussian model army. Leader 2 is a level 1. He's a sergeant assisting the main group. Leader 3 is a level 2 with 2 groups of French grenadiers. Leader 4 is a level 2 with 2 groups of voltigeur skirmishers. Leader 5 is a level 2 with a medium cannon. And then 9 points of my force support was Leader 6 with a light cannon, and he is a level 1 leader. To round out the rest of the force support, there is the auto-include of the holy man, the musician, and the physic. And here we have 78 points of Prussians. So it is led by Leader 1, is a level 3 with 3 groups of Prussian musketeers. Leader 2 is a level 1 sergeant that is going to be assisting. Leader 3 is a level 2 with a group of Prussian fusilier skirmishers. We have a model right here, this crouching one, that is a sharpshooter. Leader 4 is also a level 2 with a group of Schützen skirmishers, so these are the rifle-armed ones. And this one here is also a sharpshooter for another 2 points of force support. Leader 5 is a level 2 with a medium cannon. And Leader 6 is a level 1 with a group of Prussian hussars. To round out the rest of the force support, there is also the 3 auto-includes of the holy man, the musician, and the doctor. Okay, so here we go with the first turn, and the first card is the Prussian sergeant.
Can't do anything with them.
Nope. Then we have a French flag. Oh, and French Leader 1. So the French attack column has deployed off of the main deployment point, 9 inches up because of the exploring officer. I could have, this is out of line of sight, so I could have deployed it up here. But I'm going to be played a little safe because knowing my luck with this game, that's the only card I'm going to get this turn. A red flag, Prussian flag, another Prussian flag, so that's 2 in a row. Another Prussian flag, that's 3 in a row, but deployment doesn't count as movement. Would you like to use those 3 cards to activate a leader that hasn't gone?
No, wait.
Wait? Okay. Good, because there's your 4th flag. You can deploy and still be able to activate them if their card comes out. I mean, you might as well bring one of them on.
Yeah, bring the main force. force on.
Main force on? Okay. Alright, so the Prussian line has come on with the leader 1 and a leader 2 attached. Okay. Okay, blue leader 6, which is my light cannon. Okay, so the French light cannon has deployed here on the flank, and it is going to present and fire 10 dice, needing 3s. So, not the best shot, but it is 5 hits, and it's going to be going on to that group and the group immediately adjacent. They're in the open, so I'd like to put the 3 hits onto the group that has your leader.
What do I need to roll again?
3 on the leader group, 2 on the other. You are in the open. So 3s, 4s, and 5s are shock, 6s are kills. So 1 point of shock on that group, and 1 point of shock on the one next to it. So we'll get the shock markers there. These ones. So 1 on each. Got lucky on that cannon. But we have a French flag. Another French flag, so that's 2 in a row. All right, well, 3 in a row and 4 French flags. So let me roll random things happening for a firing event. I rolled a 5.
The nearest building within 12 inches of the fire is caught alight. Place a suitable smoke marker on this building.
So we've caught this building on fire. All right, and I've got 4 flags to work with, so let me think about that. So I used the 4 French flags to just move the unloaded light cannon out of the way of this deployment point, so it'll give me a little bit more room to work with. So we already have all the flags out in deck. It's pretty early on in the turn. So French leader 5, which is the medium cannon. So really happy I used those 4 flags to move the light cannon over, because the medium cannon is deployed right there, and they are in canister range. So hitting on 2s. With the first fire, controlled volley. So they missed with 3. So that is 5 on the leader's group, 4 on the other one. We are doubling shock. So 5 on the big man's. That is 2, 4, 6 shock. No kills. And that is 2 shock on the other one. So no one's dead, but that's a lot of shock. So it's what, 7?
Yeah.
On that group there on the end? Yikes. Okay. Next card is blue 4, which are the skirmishers. So the voltigeurs have deployed up into this little garden with the burning building behind them. They are within close range of that formation there. They're normal skirmishers, so they don't get the +1 unless they're at effective or long range. They don't have first fire, so it's just 14 shots hitting on 4s. And that was
More hits than I would like to see.
pretty solid. So once again, 5 and 4. So 5 on your big man's group. So that's a kill and 3 shock. Kill and 2 shock. And that is a kill and 2 shock. So because it's skirmish fire, is your big man hit? Is not. Okay, so a dead and 2 shock on each. And we'll see if anything is happening to that big man's group. Might be. So they fired and reloaded. That group on the end with the big man, because of the musician that we forgot to put on the table, it's at 9 men with 9 shock. So next card is the Tiffin. So we've used all the flags, and we'll shuffle up the deck. Here we go, into the next round. First card is a red flag. Tiffin. So you can activate 1 unit. The only one you've got.
Well, I guess I'm bringing on the Holy Man or the Doctor.
Well, he's got to be activated on the leader's initiative. You activate the formation with a card.
I guess we'll try moving.
Okay, you might want to wheel backwards. And because you're wheeling backwards, you're not taking all that shock penalty to moving, because you're not moving towards me. So it's 2d6 divided by 2 because you're pivoting backwards.
So 9, 4.
Yep, so just wheeling 4 inches back. And I'll start shuffling. So they just wheeled back, and here we go. Hey! It's the Prussian big man. Oh, we'll just hand you this holy man here.
And we're going to remove some shock.
Yep, so it's D6 shock. Okay, remove 3 shock. So they're down to 6. And you still got all the initiatives, which might just be shock, more shock.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I'd like to start shooting, I got to get rid of the shock or the shooting is ineffective.
Yeah, you're very much in kind of a defensive posture right now.
All right.
Okay. Hey, maybe I'll get 4 flags and you'll actually get to do something with them. It's the French leader one. So the attack column just advanced, and he's using another command initiative to have this formation fire. So it's 12 shots because they're not using the leader's initiative at this point. They've moved out of 12 inches, so they're at long range, but they are skirmishers, so hitting on 5s. And we have 3 hits. So just
one on each
one
group.
straight down the line. So big man's, nothing. Middle, point of shock. Other one, point of shock. So point of shock in the middle and point of shock in the sergeant. And the next card is the sergeant. I wouldn't even bother putting that shock on. Blue flag. Leader 4, which is your Schützen skirmishers. So the Schützen deployed here. They're firing at them. So this is
Terrible.
Oh, yeah, you're hitting on 3s. So that's going to be 3. And then the sharpshooter is also being ordered to fire. So he does hit. That is going on that front group. So I will roll that first. It is nothing. And then we'll do, well, we're in the open, so I'm assuming you're going to want 1, 2, 3. Get the other leader. All right, so big man's group. Oh, has a kill. Group behind him is nothing. And then the sergeant's group is nothing. Is my leader hit? Oh, no, he is not. So we have 1 casualty there. Nope, back to the deck. We got red flag. We got red leader 3, which is the Fusilier group. Yeah. All right, so the Fusiliers deployed. They are doing the same thing. So that's a lot better. So it's 5 to start. Why don't you roll that? Sharpshooter. 6 down to 5s, down to 4s. Nope. So the sharpshooter misses. But we'll put the 2 on big man in the open. So there's 2 points of shock and 1 each. So we'll go to the one behind. There's a kill there. Luckily, there's no leader. The sergeant's group, point of shock. And then the front group, nothing. So we'll get the casualties and the shock marked. So next card, we have a red flag. So you have 2 red flags.
Quick, we'll shot practice the. Let's see, do the shoots and have shot practice? They do.
They do, but you just finish reloading, which isn't necessarily a bad idea.
Yeah, we'll reload them.
Okay, finish reloading the rifles. Okay. Got a blue flag, so that's 2 flags. Tiffin. Okay. So I can activate 2 things that have not gone yet this turn, which is just the 2 cannons. So they will use their activations to just reload. And we'll shuffle the cards. All right, here we go. First card is a blue flag. Then we have red 3, which is the Schutzen? No, Fusiliers. Fusiliers with 3. Well, they're reloaded, so...
Hey, just we're going to shoot again.
Okay. Ordering the sharpshooter?
Yes.
Okay. So you have 7 shots in the sharpshooter, and you're hitting on 5s. Okay, that's not bad. We've got 1 each so far. And, all right. Let's see what the sharpshooter does. Sharpshooter puts a point of shock. And then we have 1 each, so big man's group. Nothing. 1 behind him. Nothing. Sergeant. Point of shock. Front left group is a kill. And there's no one there. So we got shock, shock, kill. So front group there has 1 KIA.
This group got us the shock, right?
Yes. So I rolled a 3 in the open. Okay. So they fire and reload. Okay, we got a blue flag. A red flag, so that's 2 flags. And the sergeant, musketeer sergeant.
Take shock off.
Shock management. Leader 4, blue leader 4 is the Voltigeurs.
These guys?
No, there are 3.
Oh.
So Voltigeurs, gonna do some shooting. So 14 shots from the skirmishers, firing and reloading into the formation, hitting on 5s. Ooh. Le Sharp, you magnificent son of a bitch. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9.
So 3, 3, 3.
Yep, 3 each.
This is most unlike you.
I know. So big man.
First group.
Dead and a shock. Next group is a dead and 2 shock. And last group is 2 shock. So is your someone in the big man's group hit because there was a casualty there? No. So it's a dead and a shock, dead and 2 shock, and then we got the shock put on over there already.
Jesus. can't get rid of this shock.
Nope. So that's a blue flag. So first flag. Prussian flag, that's 2 flags. Prussian flag, that's 3 flags. So the Sharp has a random firing action. 7.
Smoke. A pall of smoke hangs across the immediate front of the fire. As firing through this would be -1 to hit until the smoke clears on the chapter end. If the unit moves, the smoke remains where it was placed.
Okay, so we got a pall of smoke looming out over here across that whole frontage, which will also limit the firing of the cannon. So, fortunate for you. French sergeant is going to take point of shock. Oh, nope, down, not up. Point of shock off there. Okay, you have 4 Prussian flags. So that's bonus activation.
I guess I'll activate this unit and remove some shock.
Well, it's a leader. So yeah, activate your level 3.
Activate my level 3.
Okay, and yeah, you get a lot of options there. All right, so we removed a point of shock, having them fire and reload into them, hitting on 5s. 2 hits. So I'm assuming the 2 leader groups?
Yes.
All right, so big man takes a point of shock. Sergeant takes a point of shock. So.
The big groups are just eating shock and casualties.
Yep. All right. There's your big man again. Shock management is not a terrible idea, but you can also kind of wheel back forward and present and hope there's enough men left for a volley next time they come out.
I'm just going to shock management.
That's fair.
I'm going to take 2 off this middle group and rinse and repeat with these guys.
Okay. So another 6 shots, hitting on 5s.
One, 2, 3.
Okay. So big man, little man, and then where you want the other one?
Go to the front group.
Okay, so big man, casualty, sergeant, nothing, and then the front group. Point of shock. Is my leader hit? He is not. So we got a casualty and a point of shock on the front. They might.
Your front guy is down 2. Your back group's down 1. Your front group here is down 1. I'm down 1, 2. What a mess.
Light cannon time. So the light cannon being unloaded and just outside this pall of smoke is at effective range. So they are presenting and firing. This is 11 shots hitting on 4s. So that is hitting the end group and the group right next to it. It is going to be 3 on the big man, 2 on the middle group. So you are in the open.
Nothing.
They don't give a shit. And take a point of shock in the middle group. Okay. And we gotta get some smoke for that cannon. Hey, the Grenadiers are coming on with blue 3. So the French Grenadiers have arrived in column due to limited space, but the entire French force is on the board, which is unusual. All right, we have 4 French flags. So, of course, we're going to do smart thing and do a bonus activation with Le Big Man. All right, so Holy Man came in, +1 initiative, removed all of the shock from them. They moved up a whopping 4 inches, but the Grenadiers got a blazing 11-inch move up to the fence line. So, next card we have Leader 4, which is the Schutzen.
The Schutzen, yes.
Yes.
So they get a free D6 move.
Yep. So they got their D6 movement, 5 inches.
And we're going to fire and reload.
Okay. Well, it'll be a
use the
half reload.
Half reload. And I'm going to use the special.
And who are you shooting at?
That's a good question. I'm glad you asked.
Mm.
I'm not used to having options, so.
Yeah, you now got the Grenadiers right in front of you. But that puts you at close range. Well, if you're shooting at the Grenadiers, it's definitely close range. The Fusiliers, we might have to measure.
So, light infantry is +1. Close range.
It's 4 down to 3s. If you're shooting at the Grenadiers, you'd be hitting on 2s because they're in column.
If I shoot at the Grenadiers, I'm
hitting on 2s, including with the sharpshooter.
Right.
They do have light cover, though. There's the fence line.
Yeah. If I shot at your big man's group, would I be shooting into? I'd be shooting into their flank, right?
Yes. They would be having the cover from the fence as well, because they're definitely closer to it than you are.
Oh, that defense would be relevant because you guys were higher.
Yeah.
But no, I think we got to shoot the Grenadiers.
Yeah, they're an immediate problem now.
Yeah. All right, so 7 on 2s and then the sharpshooter.
Yep. Okay, so that's all of those. And the sharpshooter. Okay, so assuming you want the sharpshooter on the big man, right?
Yeah.
All right, so then we will put 4 on the rear and 3 on the front because I have the cover. So let's see. What does the sharpshooter do? Sharpshooter does a point of shock, and then the other 3 is a dead and a point of shock. Is it the leader? It is not. And then the 4 on the rear group is a dead and a point of shock. So dead and 2 shock in the front, and dead and a shock.
There was 2 shock on the first
back.
group. I only set it for 1.
I got it. And then a dead. And a shock.
Point, right?
Yep. And they get a puff of smoke because they are only partially reloaded. Unless you want to say, I don't want to use rifles anymore and tap reload. At which point they become muskets. No.
So, gotta be fucking red now with Tiffin, one of the 2.
Hey!
What's the cannon?
The Prussian cannon. So, medium cannon deployed, firing canister, hitting on 2s.
That's terrible. That's way more ones than I wanted to see.
Well, it's not as many ones as I wanted to see. All right, well, it's 3 and 3. So 3 on the front, doubling shock. They have the cover because you're not firing the cannonball. So that is 4 shock on the front group, which brings them up to 6. And the rear, that is 2 shock on the rear. So rear shock is at 3. Front shock is
6.
Yikes. 6 shock with 8 men, so that's not great. Come on. Leader 5. The medium cannon. So the medium cannon is firing cannonball onto the big man's group. We got 14 shots hitting on 5s. It is presented and fired, but the pall of smoke cancels that out. So needing 5s. We got 3, 4, 5 hits. You are in the open, so I'm going to put the 3 onto the big man's group.
Yep.
So that's the middle group. We got 2 shock on them. Big man is 3 shock. So getting that shock back up there.
The middle group is 2 shock or 1 shock?
2 shock. And the Prussian Hussars. Okay, so the Prussian Hussars deployed at the gallop straight into the Grenadiers. So after everything is said and done, taking the fence into consideration, the Hussars are attacking with 7 dice. Okay. Looking for 5s and 6s. That's pretty damn good. Keep the 6s separate because those are shock in addition. And the Grenadiers are defending with 9. Okay, that's only 2. So, you get 2 dead. And a point of shock. Is it a leader? I have 5 dead with... Okay, I do have a leader hit. He is killed. Oh boy. So that means I lose 4 men. We'll clean this whole thing up. Okay, so the leader is killed. The cavalry wins. They retreated all the way back here. They did not break, which is surprising. But will probably play no further part in this battle unless they get chased down by the cavalry.
I get to do a movement or something, don't I, with the cavalry?
No, there's no, that's black powder, where you can carry on. So many game systems. So that also brought the French down to a force morale of 8. Blue leader 1. And then, last card in the deck is the Tiffin. All right, so the French did consider moving the attack column in to engage, but honestly, I just didn't trust it, and I wanted to do the ball to charge. So instead, they went into line with the 2 command initiatives, and they are firing a uncontrolled volley. So everything's considered to be close range, so all of this is hitting on 4s. That's not terrible for a bunch of French conscripts. They are firing and reloading, so there's no need for the smoke. Okay, so we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, 21.
So it's 4 for each group.
Yeah, 21 shots over 5 groups. All right, so we got 5 on the big man's group way over there because he's in the open, and then 4 on everyone else. So who are we starting with?
Start with the big man's group.
Okay. Oh, okay, so that is a dead and 2 shock. And 4 for the next one over. We got
2 shock.
4 shock because they're in the open. Next group. Got a dead and a shock. The Fusiliers are in hardcover. So they take...
Nothing.
Nope, 2 shock. 5's are shocks in heavy cover. Yeah, get over there. And then 4 on the cavalry in light cover. And they take 3 shock. So we'll get all the shock and casualties removed. So here we go with the next turn. Start with a Prussian flag. And then we have the French sergeants who can't do anything. Then we have, well, the French grenadier leader. We'll see if a level 1 replacement steps forward. So because the draw immediately afterwards, we don't test to see if there's a replacement. French big man. So these grenadiers here were just within the 18-inch command radius of the chief de battalion, so he removed 2 points of shock, and with his other command initiative, he's going to activate the line, and doesn't really care if they start shooting, because it worked. So, hitting on 4s.
4s? I thought it was 5s.
No, they are at close range. Out to 12 inches. Okay. No, we didn't get any special first fire or volleyed fire because they're late war French infantry and they're terrible but cheap. So 4 of that was nowhere near as good. So we'll pull all these 1s, 2s, and 3s out, of which there are many. That was the shooting I was expecting from these conscripts. Probably would have been easier to pull the hits out. 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 over 5 groups. So big man's group is getting 3, so that's 2 more points of shock on him.
The other leader's group.
The other leader group doesn't care.
The middle group.
Gets a point of shock.
The horses.
Dead and a shock. And then, oh, dead on the Fusiliers. So we'll clean all that up. So that fire broke the formation due to excess shock. So they didn't care about the groups being obliged to withdraw, but the force morale dropped by 1 for the formation being broken by fire or fisticuffs. So next card is Blue Leader 4, which is the French Voltigeurs. So the Voltigeurs are firing and reloading onto the now isolated leaders group there. It would be 5s, but it goes back to 6s because of the pall of smoke. So 14 shots, needing 6s. And once again, you are magnificent, the Sharp. So that is 6 shots, or 6 hits rather, in the open. I would break you. That's 4 points of shock. So I don't think it's going to be double, but they will be falling back. So they fell back 5 inches, and with the being obliged to withdraw, brought it down to a force morale of 8. Now we have the Prussian big man. So he's got a lot to contend with. Okay, so that Those two groups snapped back into a formation, and 2 points of shock were pulled on his own group. And we have Prussian leader 4, which is the Schützen.
The Schützen.
Yep.
I'll take a free 1d6 movement for 4.
So you can get to the, we'll move the cows out of the way.
Yeah, right up to the gate here.
So you would probably have to use the rest of your movement to get through that gate, because if you're planning on firing on them, you're going to have some going through that cavalry unit.
Yeah. All right, so I can reload and then move 1d6.
Yeah, because you had to finish reloading.
Yeah, so I'll finish reloading.
Move another d6.
Move another d6. Fuck you.
You get through the gate. But you're now definitely a major flanking issue. Not those cavalry weren't going to be anyways. All right. Leader 5 is the cannon. The Prussian cannon. Or, yeah, red 5.
We're just going to reload because that's all I can do, right?
Yep.
But he's reloaded, so.
Okay. Tiffin. So you can activate one group that hasn't yet activated. So that'd be cavalry, fusiliers, musketeers.
I'm going to activate the cavalry.
Okay.
So I'm going to remove 1 point of shock.
Well, it's not the leader, it's just the cavalry.
Oh, okay, so I'm not going to remove any shock. And I'm at the gallop because that's how I came in and charged. So I have to either stay there or go down to 1 level down.
Well, you ended up in combat.
Okay, so that changes it?
Yep, so at that point, I would say you come to a halt.
All right, so I can go up 1 level.
Yep, so you can go up to the walk.
And that's 1d6 or 2d6?
2d6, however, you'd be going over the fence, so we would have to look at that.
Movement over minor obstacle. Crossing minor obstacle. Cavalry must be moving at the canter or gallop to cross it.
Okay, so you can't cross it at the walk. So we can probably figure this out. So the cavalry at the walk just moved back, turned back around, so that next time they can go up to the canter and jump. And we'll shuffle. So here we go. Tiffin. Everything reloads.
Of course it does.
And this pall of smoke goes away, because it's the end of chapter. So this house has collapsed. Everything is reloaded. No replacement leader came, so blue 3 is out of the deck. And here we go with the new chapter. It was a very short chapter. Okay, so chapter 3. Prussian flag. French flag.
Yeah, we haven't seen this before.
Prussian leader 4, which is the Schützen. Oh boy. What are the Schützen going to shoot?
We're going to do free movement. Okay, we're not, I mean, we are, but.
Wheel.
Yeah.
You know, fire into my flank and reload. partially reload?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me get that. Reloading smoke.
8 dice, and the sniper is separate.
Yes, if you're using the command initiative to do that.
Yes.
So you were close range, you were light infantry, so yeah, 3s. So 2 misses. Pull these down here, and then sniper hits. So I assume the sniper is going after the big man.
Yes.
That's a point of shock on his group anyways. So we have... 2 and 3. All right, so do the one here. So that's shock. It's actually going to be 2 points of shock. The big man's group is a dead. Is it him? No. The group next to him.
So that would have been another shock on him.
2 points of shock. Yeah, we'll get all the shock sorted out and nothing on the end. So we'll put the shock on. So some enfilading fire from the Schützen, and a partial reload. And leader 4 is the Voltigeurs. So the Voltigeurs are firing and reloading at that very shocked formation in the back. Without the pall of smoke, they're now hitting on 5s. They shot better when they were only hitting on 6s. So it's 1 point of shock on each group, or one hit on each group. Hopefully a point of shock on each. So big man's
group.
Point of shock. Point of shock. Okay. They will be obliging to withdraw again, I'm sure. So those groups were obliged to withdraw, and that leader's group is hanging on by an inch. Le blue one. Maybe this will do it. So the big man pulled a point of shock from his group, pulled a point of shock from the group next, and we're doing an uncontrolled volley forward, still hitting on 4s because the cavalry. Yeah, I'm just going to pull hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So 12 hits.
2, 2, 2. 2,
4, 6, 8, 10, 11.
11.
You have to put the other one on not the Fusiliers because they have the hardest cover. So it's your choice.
Put on...
Or actually, you can put it on them because it's your choice. Everything else is in cover.
Huh?
You get to choose where to put that last one because the only one that's in...
The open is there.
Or you might actually have to put it on the one in the open. Not quite sure how that works when you have so much mixed cover.
I'll put it on the horses.
Okay.
They're the closest.
All right, so the horses get light cover. Oh, that's 2 dead. Is the leader one of them? No, because it was volley fire. Nothing on them.
Group in the open.
As a dead and 2 shock. Big man's group. Nothing. Point of shock. So we're gonna have some bad stuff happening now. So the one group that was there is no longer there. They ran away. So they're wiped out. That was a -1 to the force morale, bringing the Prussians down to 6. The cavalry is at 4 with 4 men, so they are good for now. And yeah, we've got shock applied everywhere else. So Prussian leader 3 is the Fusiliers.
So we're going to remove 1 point of shock.
Okay.
And do a free movement. 2 inches.
How much shock do you have?
1.
1 move. Oh, 1 inch move. Unless you're moving away from me.
Move away from you. Why not?
Okay, it's a 2-inch move. Are you turning back around?
Yes.
Okay. So you can fire but not reload.
And we're inside the 12.
Yep. So that'd be...
Just the 8 shots because I won't be able to use the sniper, right?
Yep, 8 shots hitting on 3s. So that's 4. 1 on each. So end group. Nothing. Big man's group. Point of shock. Next group. Is it dead? Sergeant's group. Is it dead? It is not him. So we'll mark that up. Alright, so shock and casualties are applied. And we have a blue flag. Red leader 6, that is the cavalry. So you have 4 shock with 4 men, and you're a leader 1. You can use the red flag to make him leader 2, pull a point of shock.
Yeah, let's do that. Point of full shock, and then we'll move 2d6, I guess.
Okay, so 2d6.
Give me high 5 dice.
All right, so that's 5. You move 2 inches forward. If you go to the canter, it would be more than that.
Canter be what, 1 more dice?
It would be an additional 6 inches of movement, just straight 6 inches.
I guess we'll go to the canter then.
Okay.
So I'm looking at 8 inches total.
Yep. Jump the fence, and you take 1 point of shock for jumping the fence. So you go back to 4. Now that battle report from a few months ago where the French cavalry was just shock, 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 going over tons of minor obstacles.
Yes.
Got a red flag. Prussian 1.
I don't even know what to do at this point.
I mean, I would make him a level 4 and with this flag and remove 4 points of shock before he runs away.
Yeah, these shocks don't exist anymore.
Nope.
So yeah, I guess I gotta do that.
Just keep yourself in the fight while your cavalry and skirmishers and cannon maybe do some work. Red flag.
That's 3 flags in a row.
No, because the
yeah.
red one came out. But it is 2 flags in a row. I'm going to keep going. Tiffin. All right, so I have the higher force morale, so I will start with flag activations. The cannon has presented and fired. It would be hitting on 4s. So that is 4 hits in the open on the big man. Cannonballs reduce cover. Actually, you're not. You're in the open. Period.
Well, technically, I would have had light cover from the elevation.
Sure. But it's a dead. It can't be your leader because it's only one. That is a kill. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8. With how many shock?
9.
You move back 1 inch.
That's off the table.
No, it's not. Because of where you took those guys from, you still got an inch. Jeez. If you were pulling from the opposite side of that movement tray, then it would have been. So that's first flag. Prussians. I think you have that group and the cannon. Cannon doesn't have arc, but it could if you move them.
So it would be 1 movement to turn it?
It would be the 2 to manhandle it around.
Oh, gotta do something to put him back into the fight, so.
Yep. All right, so we move that. Speaking of cannons, I've got to check the firing arc on that one. So with the second flag, the cannon got pushed up with firing arc on them, and I don't have, I mean, I could activate them, but I won't because they can't do anything. So we'll shuffle the deck. Okay, so here we go. First card is a blue flag. Next card is red leader 5, which is, no, cannon. Horses are 6.
Oh, yes.
So your cannon is, well, the gun is laid.
Present. Fire!
Okay. That out there. So that is a medium cannon. It has 12 shots plus, was it level 2 leader?
Yes.
Okay. So 14 shots. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're in canister.
Yes.
So you'd be hitting this group, spilling over onto that group.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And the leader this time.
Yep. Hitting on 2s.
So 13 hits. Nope, sorry, 12 hits. Nope, 11 hits.
All right, so we got cover from the fence. So I'm going to put the extra one onto them. So that's 2 dead and 2 shock. And now for the big man's group. Has 1 dead and 6 shock.
Ouch.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's canister for you. So that broke the formation, and with a obliged to withdraw, it caused the French force morale to drop by 2 down to 6. Okay, leader 5 is my medium cannon. So the cannon is firing into them, needing, they are at effective range, so 5s down to 4s for presented. So 3, 6, 8 hits on that one group.
Well, that should do it.
I hope so. There's 2 dead and a point of shock. Is it your leader? Because if he dies, that's actually better than him routing. Okay, someone is hit. 1 or 2,
It's not the leader.
What'd you roll for?
5 for that last roll.
Okay, so, well, you rolled a 1?
I rolled a 1 for the leader.
Okay.
And then I rolled a 5.
Okay. So, the
You killed
the cannonball killed the holy man.
Well, this is a bad thing for you.
Do the French care? Yeah, does the French care if they kill the priest? Probably not. But you have some bad things that happen. So one is you lose a support. So loss of a support group. There's D6. Four. So that's -2. And we'll figure out where they break to. Well, other than off the table. So the cannonball kills the priest and one other man, and everyone runs off the table, which was -4 to the force morale, which brought the Prussians down exactly to 0. So that was a brutal game.
You gotta roll to see how many you lose for killing the priest.
Oh, okay. Hey, I rolled a 1, as I said, and the French didn't care. Yeah, so that was a brutal game. The Prussians just got caught in a lot of crossfire.
A lot of bad COD plays.
That too. We were joking earlier about how, Ted finally knows what it's like to have terrible card draws in sharp practice, and we realized that normally it happens to me. And normally when I'm doing it, I'm playing the British. So we're just joking that maybe it's the red cards are just spiteful for whoever happens to be using them. So yeah, what was kind of the strategy you were thinking here?
Well,
or did you not really get an opportunity to?
I really didn't. I was on the defense for the most part, but I initially was going to deploy the cavalry on this side and then charge the cannons.
Yeah, that would have worked.
And then, but then I didn't realize I couldn't charge once I deployed, so that kind of made me hesitant. And then I decided I could get to the grenadiers, so I went after them. I thought I was going after your line, but
that would have been suicide for the cavalry.
Yeah. So I went, and it worked out. They took out the grenadiers for the most part. But
yeah, I took them out of the fight immediately.
I really didn't get to do any real offensive. I never got to use my line troops.
So yeah, they never fired, did they?
They never got a position to. And they first unit out. And then you cannonballed them to death.
Yeah. The cannons put in a lot of work on both sides this game.
So it's the bad card draws.
Surprisingly good French shooting.
Yeah, you rolled well, but
considering the amount of conscripts on the board, I was impressed with that shooting.
I mean, you took advantage of the very good card draws you got this game, so
Yep.
And even it probably worked out to average shooting, slightly above, but I mean it wasn't great shooting, but
considering you didn't really get to return fire,
I didn't get to return fire.
In comparison, it was good shooting.
And then the advantage I had was you had the smoke, and then you had the cannons in, and then you drew Tiffin the first thing that reset everything.
Yeah, that was
so that hurt.
That was lucky.
I did not benefit from that at all, whereas you benefited all across the table.
Yeah, getting the cannon reloads was great, especially just the ending cannon fire to force those groups off the table.
But
Yeah, hey, I had good card draws. I get them very, very infrequently, so I had to capitalize on it when I could, because it could be months before that happens again. Well, we're Little Roadie Wargaming. Thank you everyone for watching. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment. We love to hear from you. If you like what you see and you're not already subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you are a subscriber and you aren't getting notifications when we post new things, hit that little bell icon so you get notified. And we'll catch you next time.